What is the average cost of living in the U.S.? The average cost of living in the United States is estimated to be between $2,500 and $3,500 per month, depending on your location and lifestyle. This includes housing, food, transportation, healthcare, taxes, and other expenses. Sometimes the grass looks greener on the other side of the country, especially when it feels like the cost of living in your part of the country is crazy high. So, whether you're sick and tired of paying out the nose for housing, groceries, taxes, and utilities, or just want a change of scenery, you might be wondering, what are the cheapest states to live in? I'm glad you asked, and I've put together a list of the 13 states with the lowest cost of living. If you wanted to justify moving to an island paradise, Hawaii didn't make the cut. But if you're cool with cornfields over crashing waves, you're in luck. But before starting the video, I want to request we put our best efforts to create our every single video, so please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's start. Number 13, Illinois. At 8.6% below the average cost of living, Illinois made my list by the skin of its teeth. The good news about Illinois? The median household income is about $3,000 higher than the national average. But it also has the highest unemployment rate of all the states on my list. Let's take a look. The median home price in the United States is $429,500. If we talk about Illinois, the median home price here is only $324,000. The median monthly rent in Illinois is around $1,306, and the national average is $1,340. Chicago is the biggest city in Illinois, and as you might expect, it's expensive to live in the Windy City. Its cost of living is 13.4% above the national average. Decatur, a rural town in central Illinois, is the cheapest city, with a cost of living 22% below the national average. Number 12, Indiana. Indiana's cost of living is 9.3% less than the U.S. average. But what about housing? And what's up with the job market? Take a look. The median home price in the United States is $429,500. If we talk about Indiana, the median home price here is only $295,000. The median monthly rent in Indiana is around $1,119, and the national average is $1,340. If you're talking about unemployment rate, so it's around 3.6%. Beyond the numbers, Indiana is surprisingly beautiful. It has everything from sand dunes up north to forests and limestone caves in the south. This state also produces lots of popcorn, so bring your movie collection along. Number 11, Tennessee. Tennessee's cost of living is 9.4% below average. Nashville is the most expensive city in Tennessee. But living there still costs 0.8% less than the average U.S. city. Want to find someplace cheaper? Head over to Knoxville, where the cost of living is about 14% lower than average. Let's compare Tennessee's average housing prices, income, and job market to the rest of the country. The median home price in the United States is $429,500. If we talk about Tennessee, the median home price here is $449,942. The median monthly rent in Tennessee is around $1,126, and the national average is $1,340. If you're talking about unemployment rate, so it's around 3.3%. US national is 3.9%. Housing prices are high in Tennessee, and it doesn't help that the average household income is a lot lower than the national median. So before you move to Tennessee, find out exactly how much house you can afford to make sure you don't go overboard. Once you arrive, you can enjoy everything from the Great Smoky Mountains and the Ramsey Solutions headquarters to boots-scootin' country music and legendary Memphis barbecue. Number 10, Iowa. At 9.4% below the average cost of living, Iowa is another one of the most affordable states. And the state's capital, Des Moines, is among the cheapest cities in the U.S. Wherever you go in the state, you'll likely find affordable housing and lots of corn. Let's take a look. The median home price in the United States is $429,500. If we talk about Iowa, the median home price here is only $299,900. The median monthly rent in Iowa is around $994, and the national average is $1,340. If you're talking about unemployment rate, so it's around 3.2%. More good news, Iowa has the third highest household income out of all the cheapest states. Plus, Iowa has lots of state parks, museums, aquariums, and random historical sites. Number 9, Georgia. If Georgia is on your mind, maybe it's because the cost of living in Georgia is 9.4% below the national average. Atlanta drives that number down a bit, with a cost of living that's just 2.7% lower than average. Fortunately, the other smaller cities on Georgia's cost of living index are farther below the average U.S. city. So, how much does housing cost in Georgia, and how much do most people make? See for yourself. The median home price in the United States is $429,500. If we talk about Georgia, the median home price here is $399,900. The median monthly rent in Georgia is around $1,261, and the national average is $1,340. If you're talking about unemployment rate, so it's around 3.4%. The Peach State's average housing costs aren't cheap. But on the bright side, salaries are close to the national median. And Georgia has a lot to offer, like colleges, the Appalachian Mountains, sandy beaches along the Atlantic, beautiful architecture, and southern charm. And of course, peaches. Number 8, Michigan. Michigan's cost of living is 10.2% below average. The cost of living in Detroit is 1.9% higher than the national average, but if you love Kid Rock and Detroit-style pizza, maybe it's worth it. But Detroit is also the most dangerous city in the U.S. Kalamazoo, a city about 2 hours from Detroit, is among the cheapest places in the whole country with a cost of living 17.2% below average. Here's how Michigan's housing prices and job market compare nationally. The median home price in the United States is $429,500. If we talk about Michigan, the median home price here is only $286,900. The median monthly rent in Michigan is around $1,124, and the national average is $1,340. If you're talking about unemployment rate, so it's around 4.1%. Michigan is known for its automotive industry, the Great Lakes and winter sports. Michiganders love ice fishing, skiing, and hockey. Number 7, Arkansas. Next up, Arkansas. The cost of living in Arkansas is 11.2% below average. Walmart is based in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and is the state's biggest employer. Now, let's check out housing prices, income, and the job market in Arkansas compared to the rest of the United States. The median home price in the United States is $429,500. If we talk about Arkansas, the median home price here is only $299,000. The median monthly rent in Arkansas is around $990, and the national average is $1,340. If you're talking about unemployment rate, so it's around 3.1%. Arkansas has amazing natural hot springs, caves, and forests. And you can live on the plains or in the mountains, just like in Missouri. But unlike Missouri or anywhere else, you can actually find real diamonds in Arkansas at Crater of Diamond State Park. Affordable, natural, and full of gems? Talk about a diamond in the rough. Number 6, Missouri. The cost of living in Missouri is 11.4% lower than the national average. Kansas City is the state's most expensive place to live, but it's still 6.4% less than most U.S. cities. The cheapest city, Joplin, has a cost of living around 16.2% below normal. Here's what housing prices, salaries, and the job market look like in Missouri. The median home price in the United States is $429,500. If we talk about Missouri, the median home price here is only $299,000. The median monthly rent in Missouri is around $1,033, and the national average is $1,340. If you're talking about unemployment rate, so it's around 3.1%. In Missouri, there are plenty of small towns where you can put down roots. You can choose from grassy plains, farmland, or the Ozark Mountains. Number 5, Alabama. Alabama has the fifth lowest cost of living, 11.9% lower than the rest of the U.S. The cheapest city in Alabama is Florence, which has a cost of living that's 16.9% below the national average. Even the most expensive city, Auburn, is 8.3% below average. See how Alabama's housing prices, income, and job market stack up to the rest of the United States. The median home price in the United States is $429,500. If we talk about Alabama, the median home price here is only $330,000. The median monthly rent in Alabama is around $1,010, and the national average is $1,340. If you're talking about unemployment rate, so it's around 2.3%. Alabama is known for having a mix of forests and beaches. It's also one of America's biggest steelmakers, since the soil contains iron ore and coal, the main ingredients for steel. There's your fun fact for the day. Number 4, West Virginia. West Virginia's cost of living is 12.3% below average, and cheap housing is a big factor in that number. West Virginia has the lowest median home price of all the states on my list. If you take some country roads to the place where you belong, you'll arrive in Charleston, the state capital and largest city. It has a cost of living 13.9% below average. Let's see how West Virginia compares to the rest of the United States. The median home price in the United States is $429,500. If we talk about West Virginia, the median home price here is only $239,900. The median monthly rent in West Virginia is around $910, and the national average is $1,340. If you're talking about unemployment rate, so it's around 4%. West Virginia has a big coal mining industry and beautiful outdoor areas. You can hike hundreds of trails, climb mountains, and visit places like Harper's Ferry to learn the local history. Number 3, Mississippi. Mississippi's cost of living, at 12.5% below the national average, lands it at number 3 on my list. Here's how Mississippi's housing prices, income, and job market compare to the rest of the United States. The median home price in the United States is $429,500. If we talk about Mississippi, the median home price here is only $279,900. The median monthly rent in Mississippi is around $1,054, and the national average is $1,340. If you're talking about unemployment rate, so it's around 3.2%. While housing is cheap in Mississippi, the state also has the lowest median household income of all the states on my list. Once you arrive in Mississippi, get ready for some fantastic music and food. This state's known for rock and roll, blues, and tasty treats like fried catfish and chocolate pies. Number 2, Oklahoma. Let's head west. Oklahoma's average cost of living is 13.6% lower than normal. Oklahoma's cheapest city is Ponca City. It's a small town in northern Oklahoma, and if you move there, you can enjoy a cost of living that's 17.3% below average. How much does housing cost? Let's take a look. The median home price in the United States is $429,500. If we talk about Oklahoma, the median home price here is only $299,999. The median monthly rent in Oklahoma is around $1,053, and the national average is $1,340. If you're talking about unemployment rate, so it's around 3.2%. Number 1, Kansas. Kansas is smack dab in the middle of the American heartland, and it has the lowest cost of living, at 14% below the national average. Now, let's compare housing prices, salaries, and unemployment rates in Kansas to the rest of the country. The median home price in the United States is $429,500. If we talk about Kansas, the median home price here is only $295,900. The median monthly rent in Kansas is around $1,091, and the national average is $1,340. If you're talking about unemployment rate, so it's around 2.9%. Kansas is sometimes called the breadbasket of the U.S. because it grows so much wheat. With low home prices, low unemployment rates, and high salaries, Kansas is one of the best states to live in when it comes to cost of living. So I hope you got some good information from my video. If you want to see cheap and safe places to live in California, click on the right side video and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.